What's up guys, welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Gazel expressed a desire to intensify his martial arts training, and Agera was eager to explore the world a little. He had expressed that he needed some time to sort through his thoughts, and Carrera fully supported giving him the freedom to do as he pleased. Given Agera's background, I was uncertain about the best course of action to take, but I concluded that he would benefit from some time off, so I agreed to the proposal. Now Dwargon was better prepared for a long-lasting war. Hopefully, nothing would transpire, but if it did, we would take the necessary actions. Farminus, the home of Yam and his companions, was also being taken care of. Diablo dispatched Gadra to that kingdom to explain the situation to them. I hadn't conducted a private interview with Gadra, so he departed 2 days ago. He had to consider his duties as the Labyrinth Guardian, but his demon Colossus, the essential tool for his job, was gone. We didn't even have a damaged remains to work with, so we would have to rebuild it from scratch. The researchers at the laboratory were thrilled about this development. Apparently, they had some new machine designs they wanted to test. While funding this research was not inexpensive, they would also receive funds from our treasury. I instructed them to continue their work until they were satisfied with the results. Given the nature of their work, it would naturally take time, so we decided that Gadra would stay in Farminus for the time being. As for the Kingdom of Bloomend and the other Western nations, we assigned Cian to oversee those matters. I sent Zonda to assist him, and demons generally possessed spatial transport abilities, allowing them to handle most situations that arose. Honestly, I didn't see much strategic reason for our enemies to strike at us from that area, so I didn't plan to take further measures beyond that. I doubted anything would happen, but if it turned out that our enemies were in a mood for human massacres, Guy wouldn't stand idly by. He didn't want to witness the eradication of humanity, so I was confident he would take action. If the enemy attempted any interference in the region that didn't require Guy's personal attention, Ruminas and the Crusaders could handle it. I informed the other Reg members about this, so Glenda and her team could work behind the scenes as well. If things escalated in that area, I believed they could buy us enough time until we could resolve the situation. Glenda had one of my cell phones as well, not her own, but one I had lent her to stay in contact with Reg. Since this provided us with instant communication with the Western nations, we concluded that no further action was necessary unless we received an alert. The remaining issue that troubled me was the potential presence of an unexpected traitor among us, I suppose.
Regarding that matter, I believe dwelling on it to be rather futile.
I can't say I agree with that. When it comes down to it, there's a significant difference between being prepared for such a situation or not. So, as I sat in my office, reviewing a report on the war damage by region, my primary concern occupied my thoughts. I had instructed Gazel to be vigilant for any signs of someone in Dwargon possessing an angel-type ultimate skill, but he just looked at me with a dejected expression.
Listen to me, Rimuru.
He began.
An ultimate skill is one of the most crucial secrets a country can possess. Our folklore tells of Grand Dwargo, our first heroic king, having one, but even then, we consider it purely mythical. Only a select few know the truth. Neither Vaughn nor Dolph are aware. And yet here you are, talking about ultimate skills at this gathering, as if it's a common occurrence to encounter people like that on the street.
So yeah, his voice grew quite loud towards the end, but I suppose that's the prevailing wisdom in this world. Only a handful of individuals are even aware of the existence of ultimate skills, and realistically, no one has a means to track down someone with an angel-type ultimate. It simply isn't worth worrying about, so I made the decision to stop fixating on it. However, if I were to sit down and calmly contemplate it, I couldn't help but feel that there might be someone special in close proximity to us. Guy and Ruminas undoubtedly possessed such skills. Leon's strength was incredibly exceptional, so I could envision him having one as well. As for De Gruel, I couldn't say for certain, but even someone like Dino had one, so it would be prudent to assume De Gruel did too, just to cover all bases. Speaking of De Gruel, Ruminas informed me that in the future, he planned to exploit the Empire to initiate a war, a piece of information Chloe had shared with her. However, the current conflict was unrelated to that. I wondered why De Gruel would engage in such actions. Was he acting on someone else's orders? If Michael was involved, we could take measures to counter it, and I believed we would need to discuss it in detail later. What about Milam? Yes, it was entirely possible that she possessed an angel-type ultimate skill without my knowledge. But I suspected that once I explained the situation to her, she would inform me. I also wondered how Carrion and Frey were doing. I thought it would be a good idea to visit them and have a chat. As I let my mind wander in this manner for a while.
Can you hear me? We are currently convening a Walpurgis Council. I understand this is unexpected, but all members are summoned to the location. That is all.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in my mind. Wait a moment. Could it be? I glanced at my right hand. The ring on my pinky, the demon's ring that I had completely forgotten about, was glowing. This meant that it was Guy speaking. I had never utilized this ring before, so I had forgotten about this feature. But I didn't have time to dwell on it now.
Xian, bring Shuna here.
Yes, sir.
Observing Xian dart off happily, I turned to Diablo.
It's a message from Guy. They are currently holding a Walpurgis Council.
Oh? Without any prior notice? That is quite unlike Guy. And I fail to comprehend why Guy himself is reaching out to you.
I shared the same concern. Guy was the epitome of pride and composure, and I had heard that even his subordinates rarely had direct communication with him. This situation seemed rather serious.
I am here, my lord.
Rimuru, what's going on? Guy gathering everyone himself. It must be a grave matter.
Shuna had arrived, but unexpectedly, Ramirez, whom I hadn't summoned, flew in as well, pulling Beretta and Trainee along with her. Ah, she is a demon lord too, isn't she? It was quite evident when I thought about it, but she also possessed a demon's ring. As Ramirez informed me, it was incredibly rare for Guy himself to convene a Walpurgis Council. He used to do so occasionally in the past when there were only 3 demon lords, himself, Milam, and Ramirez, but it had been over a millennium since the last time. However, if he required our presence immediately, it had to be an emergency.
So, Shuna, that's the situation. I don't have time to provide more details, but I will be attending the Walpurgis Council with Xian and Diablo. Please instruct Benimaru to oversee things in my absence.
Shuna nodded, quickly grasping the urgency of the situation.
Understood, Sir Rimuru. I wish you the best of luck.
I nodded in response and started making preparations. As I sat there, awaiting my guide to the venue, it didn't take long before Rain, dressed impeccably in a dark red maid's outfit, appeared through a spatial rift. Although her attire caught my attention, it was overshadowed by the multitude of wounds covering her body. My earlier unease had proven accurate.
Rain, are you okay?
What happened?
Both Ramirez and I were taken aback. However, Rain calmly shook her head.
You need not worry about me. Once everyone is gathered, we will explain the situation. Let us proceed with our journey without delay.
There was no reason to hesitate any longer. I followed Rain into the rift, only to be met with a fresh set of challenges on the other side.
Volume 16 Epilogue. Guy Crimson. Part 1.
His existence dated back to a time before the creation of heaven and earth, a product of a simple coincidence. When Veldanava, the creator, fashioned 7 seraphim from the great elemental spirit of light, it inadvertently gave rise to their shadowy counterparts. These were the Devil Lords, 7 primal demons born from the essence of darkness, and he was the first among them, the king of the underworld, the embodiment of darkness itself. From the moment of his birth, he wielded absolute authority, compelling all other demons to submit to his will. To him, his brothers and sisters were no different from the numerous clans that existed. They vied for dominance, jostling for position, and even 2 of the primals united to challenge his supremacy. However, he effortlessly bent them all to his command, never experiencing a moment of defeat. Amidst this seemingly effortless conquest, he discovered a crucial truth. While the primal demons were immortal, their heart cores, if shattered, would bind them to serve the victor upon revival. As spiritual beings, they would be subservient to those who had defeated them. Once this revelation came to light, the remaining 4 independent primals reached a stalemate. Yet, there was one lone holdout who continued to challenge the king's rule. However, with his summoning to the surface, his fate diverged from the others. Was this summoning a mere coincidence, or was there a greater purpose behind it? Only time would reveal the truth, but little did he know that this event would profoundly alter his own destiny. As he surveyed his surroundings, called forth from the depths of the underworld, he realized how complacent he had become in its tranquil embrace, oblivious to the passage of time on the surface. The world he now beheld, a freshly formed realm, already bore the signs of civilization in its development. Instantly, he comprehended that he had been summoned, a testament to the power of magic, capable of reshaping the laws of the world. The powers he once enjoyed in the depths of the underworld were now limited. He could only manifest the strength of a newly born archdemon. Although it sufficed for him, the absence of a physical vessel posed tremendous inconvenience. He pondered over the reasons behind this predicament and swiftly arrived at an answer. He found himself in the demi-material world, a realm distinct from that of spiritual lifeforms. The environment lacked the infusion of magicules, and simply existing here rapidly depleted his own stores at an alarming rate. He had no connection with the creator, leaving him unaware of the changes that had unfolded in the world. Nonetheless, he found it fascinating. However, the presence wailing before him proved to be displeasing. During his reign as the strongest demon in the underworld, no one would have dared to exhibit such reckless and foolish behavior. Intrigued, he decided to observe the situation a while longer. The wizard who had summoned him embarked on a lengthy monologue. Speaking in the first language, a magical tongue, the demon had no difficulty understanding the wizard's words. Choosing to entertain the wizard's speech, he found it rather interesting. The world was now divided into nations, each vying for dominance. Various species had emerged, including elves, dwarves, beastmen, vampires, and humans, all locked in a struggle for survival. The wizard identified himself as a high human.
"You shall be my servant,"
declared the arrogant man.
"You will abide by the rules of this world and carry out my commands."
The man commanded him to annihilate the nations that posed a threat to the supreme magic empire, a nation seeking to establish dominion over the entire world. To him, this was a simple task. The war had raged on for over a century, but with his arrival, it swiftly concluded. Employing a single forbidden nuclear magic spell known as Deathstreak, capable of obliterating even souls, he reduced the largest rival nation, with its population exceeding 1 million, into a city of death. To him, it was merely the natural course of events, devoid of any anguish. However, one aspect fascinated him: the acquisition of countless human souls awakened a new realization within him. Utilizing these million corpses, he successfully obtained his own physical body. This vessel brought him an unprecedented level of comfort. Even the sensation of drowsiness, a novel experience for him, was blissful, and he cherished the struggle to resist it. Thus, the first true demon lord in the world came into existence. With this newfound power, he understood that he was now liberated from the constraints of the magic that once bound him. It was a simple curse, one he could have easily dispelled. However, simply departing without further action would have been mundane and uninteresting. It became apparent that the accumulation of 10,000 human souls had triggered his awakening. The seal on his species was broken, and he ascended to the status of a demon peer. Although this newfound power was still less than 10% of what he possessed in the underworld, in the surface world, he stood unrivaled in strength.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. A big thanks to the AnimeKouhai patrons who made this video possible: Havox, Speed Saber, Curtis Loban, Edgar Fuentes, JV, Dirty Old Hobo, Thomas, Jay, Christ, Juan Ignacio, Joshua Cousins, Jose Hernandez, Vetelni. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.